Always a pleasure to have you on. We now move over to the east now, where Taiwan voters rejected a massive recall effort targeting 24 opposition lawmakers from the nationalist KMT party. This deals a blow to the ruling Democratic Progressive Party's plan to flip the legislature. The KMT holds a slight lead with 52 seats to the DPP's 51. Another recall vote is now set for August the 23rd. The results show a strong support for democracy and stability amid high tensions over Taiwan's future and China's influence. Official results are due on August the 1st. Now we're joined by Ross Feingold, who is a political risk analyst. He joins us live from the Taiwanese capital of Taipei. Thank you, Ross, for joining us once again on the program. Ross, what can you tell us about the feeling in Taiwan right now, and why is this such an important day for the legislature in the country? What more information can you give us on this recall?
An important thing to keep in mind is that today's result is in large part an expression by the voters that they like divided government. They don't want the executive branch and the legislative branch to be controlled by the same party. They voted for that 2 times. They voted for that in 2016 and they voted for that in 2020. But they didn't vote for that in 2024. And the recall came across as an effort to overturn the results of the 2024 election. So again, the voters have expressed their desire, based on today's result, that there is an opposition-controlled legislature that could exercise oversight over the executive branch. Of course, there are going to be people who say that today's result was because of undue influence from China. China had expressed its opposition to the recall, or in other words, China had expressed its support for a no vote, and the no vote did win today. So certainly there's going to be some commentary in the coming hours and days that says this is all due to the influence of China. But I would push back on that and say that this was for the most part about local issues, and it was about local democracy and local governance. And again, the voters expressed their desire that they didn't want the same party to control both the executive and legislative branches.
Ross, the KMT now holds a fragile majority in the legislature. How might this shape Taiwan's domestic agenda, especially when it comes to national security, cross-strait relations, and defense spending?
That's a great question. So the Chinese Nationalist Party, or Kuomintang, KMT as it's often called, they have a slight majority, and when combined with a smaller opposition party called the Taiwan People's Party, which has 8 seats, they form a majority. And that makes it very difficult for the executive branch, controlled by President Lai's Democratic Progressive Party, to get its agenda through the legislature. It means that there has to be negotiations, there has to be agreement, and the opposition-controlled legislature is not always going to agree with what the executive branch wants. And you know what? That's just the nature of democracy, and that's what sometimes happens in democratic countries. Like I said, the voters have expressed their desire for now to have divided government. But certainly it will make things difficult for President Lai. He has a little less than 3 years remaining on his first term. Like any first president, he wants a second term. First-term president, he wants a second term. The next election is in January 2028. But the upcoming few years are going to continue to see extraordinary difficult relations between the executive and legislative branches of government.
Ross Feingold, you are staying with us as we move over to Europe for our next story, where Ukraine has claimed